Hi, I'm Pat Kiernan. Thanks for joining us for Pat's Papers, a look at what's in the nation's newspapers, a summary of some of the most relevant, the most interesting stories. Let's begin here in New York.
The guy who threw the shoe at President Bush in Iraq has become a hero in the Arab world. The story on the front page of the New York Times includes a mention of a newspaper report in Saudi Arabia that a man has offered $10 million to buy one of the shoes as a souvenir. The Chicago Tribune with a photo of an anti-American protest where the shoe took on particular symbolism. Tribune writer Tina Sussman says the Middle East has its version of Joe the Plumber, now that everyone is cheering journalist Muntar al-Zaidi. The Secret Service was answering questions yesterday about the reaction of its team to the shoe-throwing incident. The story in the Washington Post includes an interview with a security expert who says it is hard to imagine what more you could do if the president wants to have any human contact when he's traveling. A shoe was about the closest thing in the room to a weapon. Also from the Post this morning, a new poll on attitudes about the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan among Americans. Americans are more positive about the war in Iraq than at any time in the past 5 years, yet two-thirds still say the war is not worth fighting. 70% think Barack Obama should fulfill his promise and bring the troops home within 16 months. Cold weather has gripped much of the country. The LA Times with a nice front-page photo of traffic on a slippery section of Interstate 5. 2 inches of rain at lower elevations turned into 2 feet of snow at higher elevations. Fruit growers are worried in California that the temperatures in the 20s predicted later this week will cause freezing. Front page feature today in the San Francisco Chronicle asking the question, what did in the dinosaurs? Scientists meeting in California are discussing one of the theories that it was poisonous gases from a series of volcanic eruptions that ended the dinosaur era. The Illinois House launched its first ever impeachment probe of a governor on Monday. The story in the Chicago Tribune this morning says this will go on for a while, could take up to 6 weeks, and the probe will not just focus on the Senate for sale allegations. There's a long list of abuse of power accusations. The New York Times addresses the Rod Blagojevich criminal case in a front-page news analysis. The headline says, was it a crime or was it just talk? This turns out to be a key legal question until the governor actually accepts a bribe or until he actually makes an appointment to the Senate. All he was doing was talking about making deals. Times writer David Johnston says the line between the offensive and the illegal in this type of political deal-making is not clear-cut. One feature in the Tribune this morning on page 3, a story about the challenges of covering the activities of President-elect Obama. Everywhere Barack Obama goes, a band of 12 reporters is following on a white bus. Tribune reporter Colleen Mastoni joined those reporters, finding a life of 5 a.m. starts, fried chicken dinners, and a lot of boredom. After a 15-hour day spent trailing the president-elect, she didn't even manage to lay eyes on him once. It is one step closer to being official. Page 18 of the New York Times, photos from the Electoral College voting yesterday in various places in the country. It may be an outdated part of the political system, but it is still an important part of the legal process. Yesterday, those votes were set. The expectation is that it will be 365 for Barack Obama, 173 for John McCain. There's a front-page headline in the New York Times about Caroline Kennedy. She has told New York Governor David Paterson that she would like him to appoint her to the Senate seat that becomes vacant when Hillary Clinton joins the Obama administration. The president-elect was announcing a few more of his choices for his top advisors. Among the appointments yesterday, Senator Ken Salazar of Colorado. The Denver Post coverage includes the obvious question about what that Senate vacancy means to politics in Colorado. A Democratic governor would make the appointment, so this is unlikely to change much there. As we mentioned yesterday, the post office hitting its holiday peak this week. A front-page story in the Green Bay Post-Gazette says mail volume yesterday in Wisconsin was triple what it is on a typical day. After today, you will have to pay for premium service at the post office if you want to be guaranteed delivery in time for Christmas. The Boston Herald, among the newspapers reporting today on the terms of Madonna's divorce from director Guy Ritchie. Ritchie will keep the London pub that the couple owns and will keep their large country house. The settlement is believed to be valued between $76 and $92 million. That's the amount he gets from her, but twice as much as Paul McCartney paid his ex-wife Heather Mills. USA Today and elsewhere, an update on the possible actors' strike. The Screen Actors Guild is urging members to authorize a walkout. It would shut down movie production and cut short the TV season again. Some A-list actors have gone against the union leaders with their argument that now is not the time for a Hollywood strike. And finally, from the science pages of the New York Times, the lowly pinky is actually more important than you think. And you probably have to injure a pinky to really realize this, but as the story says, it is your thumb and your pinky which are the most important fingers on your hand in terms of grip strength.
And those are just some of the headlines this morning. Thanks for joining us for Pat's Papers. Go to patspapers.com, scroll down on the main page, and you will see links to the individual newspapers where these stories were published. You can read them for yourself there and read more from any one of those newspapers.